You know what they say, a magician never reveals if that's a banana in his pants or he's just happy to see you. Welcome to Vouch Me, that's right. We watched The Illusionist 2006 with Edward Norton. I'm your host, Eric West. With me, I have PapaNasty.
Hey.
And Abraham.
Kept you waiting, huh?
Not bad, not bad. Okay. But yeah, this was PapaNasty's pick. Did you watch this movie as a kid? When did you see it? Why did we have to watch it? Why did we have to fucking watch this movie?
You wanted to prove to you magic exists.
Yeah, I told you, Eric. Psychic abilities and magic are real. No, yeah, watched it as a kid. Fucking loved it. Big fan of Ed Norton. And yeah, I didn't know he was the Sorcerer Supreme and the Hulk. This is amazing. Holy cow.
Holy shit. Okay, yeah, when you're putting those two together. And then also he did a bunch of heroin, right? He was in Requiem for a Dream. Am I doing this wrong?
Oh, I didn't see that one. I don't know.
He was in Fight Club. For sure, I know he was in Fight Club.
Oh, he was in Fight Club. Yep.
Was he the main guy in Fight Club?
Yeah, it was him and Brad Pitt.
He's also in that one movie where he's a Tesla owner.
I have still not seen Fight Club.
Dude, same.
Wait, you haven't? Neither of you seen Fight Club? Wait, what? Okay, we absolutely have to fucking watch that movie. It's hella good. And then also, Edward Norton was not in Requiem for a Dream. I'm a fucking idiot.
That was Jared Leto.
So let's not talk about that ever. You can go ahead and leave that in there, Alex, so everyone knows I'm a dumb little idiot. And
usually you get your Mexicans confused to get your white people confused. This is
that's how it goes.
You really have that transition.
I don't see race. I just smell them. So anyways, The Illusionist 2006. What?
I don't see race. I just win them.
Whoa.
Hey, boy, that's a great.
That's not bad either, dude. Fucking Usain Bolt over here. All right. Anyway, so we're at the bottom of YouTube algorithm today, guys. But this movie was made for $16.5 million and its box office was over $90 million. This was actually a film festival movie. I had no idea. It premiered at Sundance Film Festival, and then it was at the Seattle International Film Festival, and then it had a limited release on August 18th, 2006, which is my birthday. Oh, that's so cute, guys. I was 11 years old when this movie came out.
Whoa.
Wow.
We were that old when it came out?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's the way my uncle used to put it too. But anyways, classic transition. The other movie that came out this year was The Prestige 2006, which is Christopher Nolan, and super random because they both are magician movies.
I haven't seen The Prestige, so I can't really comment or speculate on that.
I did see The Prestige. The two of them, the primary difference between them is this movie is more of like a love story with the reveal at the end. And then The Prestige is very similar, but it is a lot more scientific based, if you will. It does have a big reveal at the end. I think the reveal at the end of Prestige is fucking hilarious. The reveal at the end of this one is like he did it. He accomplished it.
Hey, don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. God damn it.
It's like if Romeo and Juliet won. You know what I'm saying? It felt that way just a little bit.
If Romeo and Juliet didn't actually drink the poison.
Or they did, but not the one you thought. Yeah, exactly. They did, but they didn't. Neil Berger, that was the director of this film. Nope. You guys never heard of him before in your life because the first thing he did was Interview with the Assassin. Never heard of it. After this, he did 2011 Limitless.
I've seen that.
He did Divergent.
That was okay.
And that's why he never made a movie ever again.
Yup. And then Nothing Good until he did Inheritance, which I feel like I heard of recently, but
I heard that was great. I heard that was good. Wait, Divergent. He did the whole series or just the first one?
Just the first one.
Oh, so Divergent is based off of the books, right?
Yeah, the whole book. There was like multiple. I think it was like 4 films.
Yeah, I small tangent, but basically I read that the book and the movie basically killed the teen dystopian franchise, basically.
Oh no.
Because of how generic and bland they were.
I feel like that actress, she knows it was the
Shailene
girl
Woodley.
Yeah, American Teenage Secret or whatever she was. She just
Secret Life of American Teenager.
Yeah, if I remember like the movie correctly, yeah, she was a little bit. It was like what's her face is acting 50 Shades of Grey. Erin, what's her face?
Dakota Johnson.
Yeah, Dakota Johnson. It was very bland.
Guys, do we spoil The Illusionist? Do we give away like
we're gonna talk about it anyways? Might as well.
You already fucking spoiled it, Eric, with Romeo and Juliet.
Maybe I should get like the general premise out of the way first before we go into it.
Hit us with the synopsis. Let's hear it.
All right. In 1889, Vienna, Austria, Eisenheim the Illusionist is under arrest for like whatever, just disturbing the peace, blah blah. we get like a little flashback. It turns out that he's in love with the Crown Prince of Austria's betrothed girlfriend. They've known each other forever. Then mysteriously, after she gets in a fight with the Crown Prince, she dies. And so begins this weird investigation as like, did the Crown Prince actually kill her? Are they trying to frame Eisenheim or run him out of town? We'll find out.
Is this the first time you've seen it, Abel?
Yeah.
Okay. First time I've seen it.
I might have seen it before. This movie screams Miss Gunderson's class.
Not bad. Okay. That's pretty good. Or one of our old English teachers. She
would always show us movies like
and
this.
she absolutely did a lot of shrooms in her lifetime, but I did not know that until more recently. I figured it out, reflecting on her antics. But in this movie, at the very beginning, you're shown all of these practical effects that are blended with CGI. And so I'm interpreting them as like, literally me and my girlfriend were sitting down watching the beginning of this movie. She didn't finish it, but we started it. And as he's doing these fantastic tricks, we're just both like, oh, so what? Magic just exists in this world? Like we didn't even believe that they were. We didn't even believe they were tricks.
I thought that at first, but then I realized like, oh no, he's just a stage magician. Like he admits to like most of it's just like a bunch of tricks and stuff, and they just played it up like you said with CGI. But for the most part, a bunch of his tricks were practical.
Yes, and that's something. Yeah, that's something we were talking about.
The real magic would have been the smell in the air with all those dirty French people inside that theater. That would have been wild.
First of all, they were Austrian.
Vienna is in Austria.
That's in Austria.
No, what? I thought they were Oh, man.
Vienna's in Austria, bro.
Ah, damn, I had a bunch
so
of
you're
jokes
just being you're just being haphazardly racist.
My guy would be so lost in Austria. He would be going around like he'd be like asking if they speak English and French. And
no,
like,
he'd be in the middle of fucking Austria. He's like, where did the Eiffel Tower go? Where did it go? Am I in Paris?
I'm so lost, man.
I can't believe he'd be running around asking who was in Paris. Whoa. You're not allowed to ask that.
Oh god, that reminds me. Small tangent. Back in the day when I was working with old Mike, we had this beer on tap. It was called like the Vienna Lager, and as he's trying to hawk it to people sell, he was like, "Oh, the Vienna Lager, man, beautiful Italy," and I was like, Mike, Vienna's in Austria.
Yeah.
So PapaNasty and Mike would be best of buds. So anyways.
Yeah. I just didn't see no kangaroos the whole film, so that's why I was kind of confused if that's...
Oh, boy.
Oh, well, good day, mate.
No.
Let's put another shrimp on the barbie.
God damn it, you beat me to it. Yes. Oh, Austria. So let's throw another shrimp on the barbie. Yeah. Okay, so in terms, I thought it was all CGI, but there was actual people consulted for magic abilities, and there was technical advice for these things. For example, James Friedman, Ricky Jay, Michael Weber, and Scott Penrose were all consulted for this. And I think, Abel, you mentioned that Edward Norton was also practicing sleight of hand for the film.
Yeah, he trained himself in it because Edward Norton's one of those pretentious method actors. He delivers great performances, but I heard he's insufferable to work with, which is why they recast him as the Hulk.
Yep, I heard that too.
I wonder what his method acting was like for the Hulk. He just crash out in a fucking restaurant. No, this bill is too much.
Don't quote me on this because I may be wrong, but I remember reading that essentially he disagreed heavily with the direction of the MCU while shooting the Hulk. He wanted it to be a more like intellectual movie or just like character study of like what makes the Hulk, and they're like, no, bro, we're just making a superhero comic book movie.
Yes, he was very...
He wanted to make it a bigger deal than it really was.
Oh, okay.
He wanted to make a real movie.
Yeah, his method acting, Eric, was him trying not to shit his pants, but getting as close as he could to making it look like he's gonna shit his pants.
That's pretty good. Abel actually had it down. Not your first rodeo. Going back to the magic in this movie, I did believe it was cinematic magic. I thought it was CGI, but they did try to do a lot more practical effects and it implemented CGI to clean it up. Most of the tricks that they did in this movie were ones that were done by actual magicians early, like back in the day. And then so they just used them for this film. So that was pretty...
Somewhat period accurate, basically.
Yeah. So as per director Neil Berger, starting in pre-production, James Friedman, he became the major collaborator. He brainstormed, designed, and refined everything from small sleight of hand tricks to major narrative set pieces. He worked with Edward Norton, preparing him for his stage performances, and acted as a hand double in various scenes, which is pretty random. So go back, if you see the hairy hands, Those are probably James Freeman's. Also, this movie is not based off, this movie is loosely based off of a short novel. It's like, it might have been a romantic novel, I'm not entirely sure, called Isham the Illusionist. But then what turns into the main plot, that's almost the subplot. The main plot Abel actually figured out was based off of something else.
Yeah, some historical incident regarding a supposed apparent murder-suicide between a crown prince and his girlfriend, which I'm not going to really bother to explain it too much, but essentially it cascades into a bunch of the events that do lead into what would start World War One. Kind of funny how that works out.
Dude, that was hilarious. Not hilarious, but I did chuckle just a little bit, When Abel brought that up to me, I was like, oh my God, this had, whether or not it intended to, this movie was historically sound. And that was fascinating to me. I was not giving enough credit. Now and then when I'm watching a period piece, I'm like, shut the fuck up and just speak English. You know what I'm saying? Like, God
They
damn.
did speak English, though.
Yeah, I know, but it's that wonky English that makes you think it's all French people. And it's like, oh, it's Austria. I guess. Jesus Christ. Oh, what is this? Kangaroo Jack 2? Jesus. And that's called a callback, motherfuckers. I'm doing pretty good. I'm cooking.
Yeah. I like it.
It's the hip, the hop, the hip, be a hip, hip, hop. You don't stop.
Okay. So the original story, which it's based of, does not include the protagonist framing the crown prince for murder, which is a brand new element brought to it, which is fucking awesome.
Spoiler, blood. Yeah.
Oh yeah, spoiler.
We're getting into it.
We're getting into it. Sorry guys, spoiler alert. There's some stuff that goes on.
And that's today's dirtbag of the week.
Whoa! Oh yeah, hit us with it. I want to hear. Here, I'll give you an example.
MTM, hit him with the heat.
And that's our dirtbag of the week, brought to you by Eric West. He goes ahead and throws this one, guys. He reveals the end of the movie. He could not be a magician because in order to be a magician, it's all about the prestige. And what's crazy about this movie, The Illusionist, as well as The Prestige that came out with a larger budget, is the concept of a magic trick is you have you present it to the audience. There's 3 parts to it. The final part is the prestige, which is you essentially reveal what exactly it is that you did. In the prestige, they broke it down into 3 parts, and then the final act is the prestige. In this movie, The Illusionist, they break it down, and at the end, you get the prestige. You get exactly what the fuck happened this whole movie.
Well, Eric used to have a magic trick back in the day. He would tell ladies that he was going to put a condom on, and then there never would be.
Abracadabra! I thought it was so funny. Okay, so
and then I disappear.
And that's incredible right there. Yes, Abel. There it is. That's exactly what it is. Oh, I make this. Yeah, first the condom, then myself. That's a great job, Abel. So, long story short, Edward Norton's character is basically a bum who learns magic. He has a childhood friend who's a duchess. And so, of course, they can never be friends. They meet again when they're adults. And this entire time, they never got over it. They were like, I wanted to fuck you ever since I was a kid. And it's okay because it's 1989, so we can express those feelings. It's like, that's a little bit weird. But literally the moment she had the opportunity, she cheated on her now prince husband with this bum.
Whoa. They were dating.
They were engaged.
Now prince boyfriend. My apologies. Now prince boyfriend. She immediately...
And don't feel bad about him. He's an asshole.
But he's an absolute piece of shit. It reminded me of Titanic a little bit.
Yes.
For the longest time before I looked at the cast, I thought the Crown Prince was being played by Jude Law. He looked like him.
Oh, yeah, a little bit.
I kept thinking random characters were Liam Neeson, and I had to keep checking. I'm like, nope.
Yeah, when I saw like an actual picture of the actor without the mustache, like, oh, he looks nothing like Jude Law, but with that mustache, he looked like him from Sherlock Holmes.
Yeah. Is that guy ever a good guy? I feel like he's always the villain in a film.
He's got the bad guy face.
He was a villain in Knight's Tale. He was a villain in, what else, another film? I'm drawing a blank. But yeah, I feel like he's always a villain. I don't think there's any other role that he's been in where he's a good guy.
What about the doctor, the guy who inspected the body when that person died in the movie? Abel, you gave us the synopsis. Do you want to like give us the scheme rundown of like what happened? Because I don't know how else to put it. How do we talk about this movie without giving away the scheme.
I'll sum up what exactly happened here. So, the Duchess wants to run off with Eisenheim, the Illusionist. Crown Prince has her basically being watched all the time by the cops because the cops are crooked as fuck and they work for him. So he finds out that she's cheating on him. He gets drunk one night and she tries to flee, and then he's seen stumbling out by like his attendant or something. Next thing they know, they see her like ride off into the night, and then she's later found the next morning dead in a river, and everyone's kind of like speculating it was the prince, but there's no actual proof whether or not he did.
But there are rumors of him beating women, and one did go and kill herself mysteriously. So there are some,
Yeah, he's already got a background where people wouldn't be surprised if he actually did do it. And so even the head chief of police is starting to like, I know, man, like there's no way I can find evidence to spin it that the Crown Prince didn't do it. It's kind of pretty damning.
Yeah, well, they're boys, so that's why he's like, man, no, my boy wouldn't do that. But then it's like, it's like my situation. It's like, well, Eric would wear a condom, but I don't know. I also know he doesn't like to wear condoms, so it's.
I'm gonna say you should go get checked, buddy. Anyways.
Yeah, I'm going to.
Yeah, so basically the Crown Prince is being framed. Eisenheim is like quietly pulling all the strings, and the chief of police can't really prove Eisenheim's behind any of it because he covered his tracks too well, and is driving the Crown Prince mad.
And that's that's the best part of it is you do get to the reveal where fucking the police chief, or who wants to be the police chief, but the inspector, he shows up to the train platform, and he just Edward Norton's character narrowly gets away, and he suddenly has this crazy revelation of all the pieces coming together.
It all comes together, and he figured it out.
As a spectator, I saw it a mile away, but only because I've seen it done before, and that's the beauty of magic, is when you've seen it done before and you understand the tricks, then I'm more likely to see the tropes later. It reminds me of the really random Looney Tunes bit where Daffy Duck says, I have the greatest trick in the world, but I can only do it once. And he drinks a bunch of gasoline and he eats a match and he blows up. And they're like, wow, that was such a great, what a great trick. And then he's a ghost and he's like, yeah, but I can only do it once. And then da-da-da. Yeah. It's like, okay.
Talking about going out with a bang for his final show.
So wait, the magician was Edward Norton, right?
Yep, Eisenheim, the Illusionist.
It wasn't Jessica Biel? Because I'm just saying, because when Jessica Biel and Edward Norton were in that room together, she made that cucumber disappear.
She did. Hey, let's
go.
He'll be here all week. Folks.
Literally, as soon as they went into that room together, I had so many jokes going on in my head. Like, oh man, she's gonna make that gopher disappear. Where does rabbit go? Oh no, they rabbit in the carrot. That's crazy. Like, it was so stupid. Yeah. But like, I get that this is supposed to be a romance movie, but I'm like, the moment they had like 5 seconds alone, they just started fucking. I'm like, Jesus Christ.
Dude, their third interaction on film is them just going to fucking home. It's fucking third base and a half. It's fucking home run city.
And it wasn't just implied. It was like, no, we got to watch a passionate session. I'm like, oh, this is a smut novel that has been turned into a movie. Oh, I had no idea.
Dude, it would have been so funny if you'd been like, pulled something out of your ears. Like, is this your butt plug? That would have been amazing. That would have been awesome. I would have fucking.
That's really good.
That's French people right there. That's great French filming.
Oh my God. French Austria, Jesus Christ. Put it together. At least make it sound right. But yeah, I guess that is it something, is it like, what is it a case of nowadays? Because looking at their romance of like, their forbidden romance that they got to transpire years later, almost reminds me of The Notebook, where, it didn't work out, but then years later, he was obsessed. I criticize that immediately. I'm like, this is unrealistic. Like, I don't know. Is that just like something about modern society? Is that something wrong with my own brain? Like, why was I highly critical of their relationship? I'm like, what the fuck are they doing? Like, they barely know each other.
They knew each other when they were younger. It's implied that they had spent a lot of time together when they were younger.
Okay. We're talking years.
Yeah. So the guy on Tinder. That's hilarious.
From 8 to 15? Let's assume that, yeah. Like 8 to 15, or do you think older? I think they weren't even 15 yet. They're probably like 8 to 14, 15
I thought
years
they were
old.
Teenagers. Oh, by the way, young Eisenheim was played by Aaron Taylor Johnson before he was famous.
Yeah, Quicksilver over here. Holy cow.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Kick-ass.
That's pretty good.
One of my little complaints was to get the picture of himself during that era, wouldn't that have been pretty expensive? And have it that size? I feel like that'd be a little bit hard to do on a cabinet maker's budget.
Hard to say.
I mean, you're not wrong. Maybe his dad helped him out a little bit.
Well, if it was a cabinet maker making cabinets for a royal family, they probably would have been quality and probably not necessarily poor.
Oh, I forgot that was like a big part of it.
Yeah, that's how he knew her. He worked for her family.
Yeah, I can get behind him making the locket. I'm not going to critique that, but just the picture in of itself was like, that's a bit hard.
What I'm saying is he might have had connections, and they probably weren't as poor as you're probably making them out to be.
Okay, I'll take it. In terms of reputation, they're at bottom of the barrel. Don't get me wrong, and that is what the chief of police, or the inspector and Edward Norton did connect on.
Paul Giamatti.
They did connect on that concept that they were both bottom of the barrel and that they didn't belong with anybody. I do want to go into the tricks really quick because I think they're fucking interesting. So the orange tree illusion, they actually have a breakdown of how it was actually done, because literally in my brain I'm like, oh, he's doing magic, but then later it's revealed, no, he's not. I'm like, oh,
he has his own little Bible showing like how the tricks are done and explained. He leaves it to the Paul Giamatti's character after he disappears.
And even in the movie, when he's summoning ghostly apparitions, the way they propose that he is doing it, he's probably doing it that way with the projectors and the smoke and everything.
Yep.
So they figured it out, but it's like, even to the audience, even to us, we're like, no way. That can't be it. That's too obvious.
Yeah.
But the greatest trick of them all, though, I think the greatest reveal, let me get this out the way and then I'm done. The greatest reveal, I think, is the fact they waited all movie to reveal that Jessica Biel had that fucking dump truck on her. Jesus Christ. Literally all movie. I didn't know she was hiding that shit. But then right at the end, they give you the last 5 minutes. She turns around and I'm like, dude, she's dragging that wagon. What the fuck? I had no idea.
He was like, God damn.
God damn.
I would totally fucking pin that shit on a fucking print and fucking throw away everything for that. Yeah, I could see that. I could see how Eisenheim would do that.
Right then and there. It took the 2 hours of me being like, to me, oh, of course.
Oh, I'm sorry, Eisenheim. I was not familiar with your game.
Exactly.
Like, no wonder he pulled that and he was like, I'm not ever letting go.
Yeah.
Dude, his prestige goes crazy.
Yeah, he was traveling around the world learning, like, just like from different types of people is what he was hinting at, right? Like he had said he was...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he learned magic from other people, supposedly.
Russia, yeah, learning the ways of the mystical arts.
A really big one was Asia, China, because he mentioned that he visited it, and even prior to going, he said, I want to go here because there is, great wisdom to be obtained, basically, kind of that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Other movies that were really popular during the time of this release, this movie was not, and this was a Sundance movie. At that time, I guess basically it was almost an indie film because it was Sundance, went to Seattle, and then had a limited release. Does that make an indie film? Yeah. Because in 2006, the number one film was A Dead Man's Chest.
Can't blame him.
And then you got The Da Vinci Code. You got Ice Age The Meltdown at 3. Casino Royale released that year. Oof, Casino Royale. I was
going to say Casino Royale.
Casino Royale was below Ice Age.
It's the beauty of marketing to children.
Night at the Museum, Cars, then X-Men Last Stand, which is up there but still understandable. Mission Impossible 3, and then Superman Returns. I didn't even know Superman was still doing shit in 2006.
Yeah, that's the one where Kevin Spacey, he played Lex Luthor.
Whenever I thought about Superman, I thought about Superman being like the 90s or the 90s. I didn't even realize he was still doing shit up into 2006.
It's technically a sequel to the 1979 Superman series. Like, it's technically supposed to be the same continuity.
That's pretty cool.
Basically, it's like the death of Superman. Like, after he fights Doomsday, he comes back somehow, right? That was basically what they hinted at, like a return of him. I don't remember
what Superman 3 was about. I only watched the first one.
Well, no, I'm just saying, like, I thought that was what was based off of, like, that storyline, was that he had died, and then he came back because he had a son, spoiler, with Lois, and then Lois is like, you did, and she's, like, smoking a cigarette, and, like, my baby daddy ain't shit.
You're making me want to watch it. Is it actually a good movie? Wait a minute.
It's okay. It's okay.
Oh, okay. Well, okay. So the very last movie that blew The Illusionist out of the water. The Illusionist made $80 million. This movie made $384 million, and it's probably going to be around for a really long time. Happy Feet.
Damn.
Okay, all right. I don't know what is going on. Well, what do you know? Abel, you did some research on the film. Do you have anything else to add in terms of anything else that stood out to you?
No, I pretty much covered most of it earlier on when we touched on the making of the magic and all that stuff. Oh yeah, some of the background of it being partially based off some political incident.
Yep. We did get that out the way.
We covered it.
Yeah, we did. PapaNasty, short of your feelings about this movie, do you got anything else to work with here? Because I think we might be able to ask the big questions.
Yes, I just had a few little notes. If I may just go through a little, I got some fun.
He's got the notes.
I had a few fun things.
All right, Ryan Gosling, let's go.
When he's traveling and he talks about when the what's his face Gandolfini's narrating, he's saying how he met the magician on the road, and then he disappeared and the tree disappeared. It's like, was he high? What was going on? And
So I was speculating that he was fudging up his story to make himself seem more mysterious. Because, just when word travels about someone, especially in a world where people, his general audience think magic is real. So they'll probably exaggerate his story because they think magic is real.
It kind of cracked me up though, because it reminded me of one of my cousins that met a magic man on the road. And then he joined a cult for a little while. And then he got weird and he came back and he's a little off.
Didn't want to talk about it. Yeah, I feel you.
Didn't want to talk about it. He had some tattoos. What was another funny one? His first trick was the orange trick that we see.
That's his best trick.
And I was like, that's very Poison Ivy-esque. Thought that was interesting. I'm like, okay.
He could have taken over the whole city. He should have just tried it.
Poison Ivy, here we go. Yeah.
The fact that was all mechanically done is so fascinating.
And then the oranges that they were edible, that was pretty cool. But
it's because they were preloaded. That's what I read, is that is based off of an actual trick that happened, and they did it via mechanics, but they preloaded the real oranges so then he could pull them off and throw them into the crowd. You fucking genius.
What was a nice little thing I did was the next day after the showing when the inspector and his other one of his little deputies, they're talking about the show. It's the same way we would talk about a TV show, how we're kind of gossiping about how do you think that scene happened? Do you think that wait what? Thought that was kind of cool. It's
No, they were the real buddies in that movie. It was almost a buddy cop film if you think about those two guys.
Yeah, he kept iterating to Eisenheim that hey, I like you, I really don't want to arrest you, but please don't force my hand.
Yeah. Well, that's when he asked him, remember that question, he's like, are you totally corrupt? And he's like, no, not totally. And you're just like, oh, okay, he is honest. He's admitting to his
I'm just trying to move on up in the world the best way I can.
He's not totally corrupt, and that's why you're not supposed to be having this conversation about the fucking prince right now, because you could be arrested.
And he was like, oh, and if I was suspect you of anything, we would be having a totally different conversation.
Yeah. It was a very boss move, eating food and talking to somebody. I'm like, that's mobster shit right there.
Oh, yeah. When I saw that, I was like, oh, I've seen that trope a handful of times, and I was like, that's a power play and a half. That reminds me of Inglourious Bastards.
It makes me think of in Captain America, in the first one, when Tommy Lee Jones' character is interrogating the Nazi scientists or the Hydra scientists they captured, and he is like, "It's steak. You don't want it?" He was like, "You poisoned it." He was like, "All right, suit yourself," and he just turns around and just starts eating it right in front of him.
Well, that he's a vegetarian too. I think it was. I think he's like, "I'm a vegetarian." No, it kind of reminded me too, what every girl's dad wanted to do with Eric when they're like, "Hey, I heard you didn't wrap it up," and they're eating it like, I'm going to stab you now, Eric.
Yeah, actually, that's not the case. I feel like every dad I've met, I've won him over. I don't know if you know that I'm a fucking people pleaser and a half, but I'm pretty good at this shit.
Anyways.
Any more criticisms of the film / entertaining things? Because I think you can ask us the big questions, bud.
All right, PapaNasty.
PapaNasty.
All right, guys. Do you vouch for me or what?
I'd vouch for you. That I was more entertained than I would say I was expecting to be.
I absolutely vouch for you. It was better than I anticipated, yeah.
Fuck, marry, kill.
Whoa, hey, whoa, you watch your goddamn language.
Watch, marry, kill.
What? Oh, sorry, watch, marry, kill. Sorry, all this.
Yeah, I'd give it a watch. I wasn't too attached to it, but it was entertaining. I liked it.
I'll give it a watch. I do like a good twist ending. And so, even though I did anticipate the twist ending, and so the latter half of the film, I was like, yep, that happens. But when do we find out that everyone's alive? Uh-huh. I knew it was coming.
Devil's advocate, I'd say I think the twist was obvious. It's more about how did he do it rather than what happened.
Yes, good point. Good point.
Like I liked seeing the revelation of Paul Giamatti realizing like how everything came together.
Yep, that's a good point. I did enjoy that as well. I'm like, oh, okay, and it did confirm to me who the whole time was like, is he a little magic? Like, what the fuck's going on? It's like, oh no. Yeah.
No.
I was a dumbass the whole time. All right, yeah.
Yeah, there's no magic.
There was no magic.
The only magic was what going on between Jessica Biel and Edward Norton.
The fact that the prince, first of all, great. Second of all, the fact that Prince was actually not wrong the whole time, like they just framed his ass.
Yeah, he legit felt like he was going insane because everyone around him was accusing him of shit he didn't do. He's like, am I the only person here who knows what the fuck is going on?
He really is intelligent. He really was, and like literally, Jessica Biel says it early on. He's intelligent, but almost too much for his own good. Like I can't believe they could use that against him. I'm like, Jesus.
Well, he was an asshole. That's why.
He was like, basically, it's like, my mistake was putting too much trust in you fucking jackasses.
That's incredible. What do you give it, Papanasty? First of all, do you vouch for your own film? Second of all, watch, marry, kill.
Duh, and Mary. Yeah.
Oh,
So,
Mary.
Yeah, oh, he loved this movie.
Wow.
I dig it.
Would you, by any chance, if you wanted to marry this film, would you stage its own death and then stage your own and then go to a farm with one another with horses?
Yes, totally. Yep.
Absolutely. Okay, we figured it out.
I think if my guy wanted to disappear and live off the grid, he absolutely would have tried.
Yeah, they moved to the Pacific Northwest. I didn't know that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That was like when I saw those.
Yeah, they just went up the old Oregon Trail.
Yeah, I'm like, that's Mount Rainier. No, I'm just kidding. They're still in Austria.
Yeah, they're still in Austria. They went to France. Okay, all right. Bump the brakes, buddy. Come on.
Oh my god, so stupid.
Wait, yeah, they just went to the Outback is what they did. Okay, well, anyways, we did the thing. Guys, so what do we got planned? We got Heretic coming out. And then I think officially, whose film is it next?
Should be mine, I think.
I don't think it's true. I genuinely believe it's mine, and I just asked that question knowing the
Might
answer
be
to
yours.
it. I know, I asked the question knowing the answer to it, and I'm sorry that I did.
We did strongly suggest doing The Wolf of Wall Street as of finding out PapaNasty has not seen it.
That's true. That is a good movie, and I would actually be down to rewatch that movie. Otherwise, if we don't pick Wolf of Wall Street, we might start firing off some TV shows. Like because I want to pick Severance. It was a cool concept, but also it's on Apple TV, and I'm not gonna. They have a 7-day free trial if you guys want to watch the first episode of Severance. It's kind of fascinating. If you guys don't know what it's about yet,
I'd be down.
It sounds familiar. What is it again?
cool. And that's all. Nope, I can't tell you anything. That's it. Yep, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha, bitch.
Gotcha.
And see, now the first episode it feels like a Black Mirror episode. That's all I'm going to say. But maybe, yeah, we'll lean on some TV shows. Otherwise, we're going to kick up some Three Stupid Dogs. We got some shit in the tank. Get them posted. Get them recorded. Let's do the thing, guys. You guys fucking around. Let's get it going.
We're back on it, baby.
Thank you guys so much for watching Vouch for Me. Go check out this movie. And if you guys are curious about anything else, hit us up in the comments. We won't do a recap on this one. Go watch it. It's fun. It's fine. It's phenomenal. And I'm signing off. I'm Eric West. See ya.
Love you guys. It's on Prime.
Later, y'all.
Bye.